Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
This is our Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast prediction show for tomorrow night, Sunday.
Yes, sir, man. Wrestlemania Backlash.
WrestleMania Backlash live from Providence, Rhode Island. I'm actually tempted to go, but I'm not gonna go. But I'm tempted since it's only 3 hours away.
I mean, you should see what you're feeling tomorrow, dude. You might just wind up be going.
Yeah. Hey, listen, $5 a gallon in gas.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man.
That's more than the price of the ticket.
Is that what it's at there in New York, dude, or Jersey,
it's
man?
Pushing like $4.50. I'll be spending more in gas than the price of a ticket.
Yeah, man. I think we're at like $4.14 or something here in Indiana.
Oh my goodness,
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Under normal circumstance, I would definitely be maneuver my schedules to go since it's so close. But
yeah,
anyhow, not that big of a pay-per-view. Like I'm tempted to go, but I'm not at the same time. I mean, if it were like
it's Backlash,
SummerSlam, or if it were like Royal Rumble, I'd be like, heck yeah, I am going. But
I mean, it's Backlash, and I don't say that in the sense that like there's Backlash has always been a terrible pay-per-view, but I don't know, man. Like the WrestleMania branding just doesn't need to go on everything. We don't need it on every single thing leading up until what would be the next pay-per-view? What is after this? Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell. It's Hell in a Cell.
Is it Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, because they did it in June last year. Yeah. I think it is Hell in a Cell.
Okay. Wow.
So I mean, like. I'm more looking forward to Hell in a Cell versus what we got right now. Like it's gonna be a fine pay-per-view. I'm sure there'll be some good matches. Just not really into it, dude. And that's me saying that with the day off on Monday, so I'll actually be able to watch it. And we'll do a podcast tomorrow, dude. Like it's. I
mean, listen. I think from a wrestling standpoint, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show.
I agree with that.
I feel like there's really not much compelling stuff tomorrow night.
Correct. I mean, we got an I Quit match, and it's probably one of the worst storylines. And again, that's biased because I don't like Charlotte, but it has really been one of the worst built storylines I think in recent memory. Honestly, I mean, an I Quit match, like they never pull that out, and it's just. I just don't care. Like I really could care less.
And you know what? There's no championship match main title for Roman Reigns' unified title. There's no match for that. Like
and you
match.
The last time we talked about that, dude, you were up in arms about it. Like how upset you were, and I think I was kind of like mellow to the fact
they took away the tag titles unified.
Yeah, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm just like, man, like. It just seems like lazy booking. Like, we're running out of options. We don't know what we want to do. We don't know if we want to switch the title. Like, let's just, make it a 6-man and act like nobody forgot that the titles were on the line and it's not that the titles are on the line. I mean, we're talking about a unification match. I mean, this is I can't remember last time we've had just one set of tag titles. It's got to be before like 2008, right? When they had like the
like the World
Tag.
15.
Was it that?
Yeah, because
that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, that is right. But I'm thinking way too far in the past.
When you have 3 tag teams on one show, 3 to 4 tag teams on another show, each in a separate tag division. How do you call that a tag division with 3 tag teams?
Yeah.
How is that a division?
In the same
like AEW's got it right with having 8, 9, 10 tag teams, and then
with trios too. The report that they're coming out with that the trio titles have been made. They've just been waiting to debut it. Like, we joke about it. Our next shirt. Speaking of that, the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast is now on pro wrestling tees, our first 2 shirts. And man, I'm telling you, the Aftermath podcast, who would have thought it, man? We got it. We're getting it going. So if you follow the Aftermath on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, our link's there. We'll put it in the comments here too. But man, I'm just telling you, like, we talk about like, oh, no stables, more tables. Like that's going to be our next shirt. But just give me more stables, dude. Like WWE just needs teams together because there's guys and girls who are just floundering, dude. And then you get cut, and then we see these, everybody gets upset where it's like, oh my goodness, like Candice LeRae got cut or, was released or whatever, like, or left, or however you want to describe it. Like all these people are getting cut. There's more cuts coming and everything. Like there's so much more room for people like Drew Gulak and Alpha Academy to be really well used. But like you said, man, you can't have 3 tag teams on one brand and 4 tag teams on the other and be like, oh, there's our entire tag team division over 2 titles. Like that just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. So you kind of get my frustration where if you merge the titles, you have 1 title and then 7 or 8 or 9 teams, that kind of makes it feel like more of an actual division.
Correct. And there's more storylines and you get more fresh matches too, man. And then that's just hoping that they stay with, the 7 teams that they got. Like you got to hope that when they, put a unification match in there, that they're just going to start putting in teams together. But I mean, you have to think about like Randy Orton, RK Bro is going to be probably mixing it up, sometime soon. I'm sure we could see the Usos, break up. I think that's a possibility at some point. Like,
I don't know, man. I think I see more of an adding to the bloodline.
Yeah, I think
that might a little more likely right now.
I think it's just because I'm I'm still a little biased to Jay in his I Quit Hell in a Cell match. That was one I remember being one of my favorite matches of the pandemic. So I kind of would like to see them have their own singles run. But yeah, man, they got to do a lot of adding and subtracting. They gotta find a way to get some of these teams. I mean, man, just put some teams on NXT and call them up. Like we've been seeing like guys like AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler, main roster guys kind of be that veteran leader on the NXT roster for a few weeks, man. Let's keep it going, dude. There's so much talent in NXT that's just not being used and in WWE. So, man, here's to hoping that they fix the tag team division because it's terrible. It's really bad.
It's been bad. It's been bad the talent that's there is good, but it's bad due to the fact that there's a lack of teams and we keep seeing the same stuff relatively over and over. Like how many times am I going to see Street Profits versus RK Bro?
Or Street Profits. You remember when Street Profits versus Viking Raiders during COVID was like 8 weeks straight?
See, that makes sense. Thank you, Corey. I love this. That makes freaking sense, Corey. I think adding Naomi to the bloodline would be cool. Yes, it makes sense.
I like that.
It makes absolute sense. Get her to the bloodline. Have her turn on Sasha at some point because we haven't seen a heel Naomi in a long time.
No, man.
So I
we
think
haven't really
it's going
seen
to happen soon if it would happen. Not just yet. It's a little early because you kind of just started that tandem. But yes, it makes a whole bunch of sense to have Naomi the bloodline and also to call up that guy. I forget his name.
Solo Sikoa. Yes. Yep. There you go.
Brother.
Can you put that one up there? Yellow boy, my man, saying Solo Sikoa, man. I'm telling you right now, that guy has a future. He is phenomenal. I am such a big fan of Solo Sikoa.
So yeah, so maybe we should get Corey on the booking team for WWE. That would make sense.
Really, bring them both on. Yellow Boy too.
Who else is hanging around in the WWE right now that's related? Nia Jax is gone, but that could have made sense. But Nia Jax is gone.
I think that's the only one outside of The Rock's daughter, but she's like just having her first like TV match. And I know she's been having like some ACL surgeries or something, so I don't think she's ready. But yeah, man, I would love to see like the Elite. Look at the companies, like the people who are taking over the other companies. The Elite took over AEW. Bullet Club's back in the game. I mean, Jericho Appreciation Society. Stables are over. Like I know I joke about it, and that's kind of like my little gimmick, but man, the Bloodline, if they got like 4 or 5 people in there, that would be a I mean, especially if they're winning. Now, this has to be, I think you have to pull the trigger while you're still like the top dog. You know, like Roman's still the guy. I still think that Tamina. Yes, thank you. That's man, that is right. That bloodline, pardon the pun, that bloodline really does run pretty long. But I think if you're gonna add to that stable, you gotta do it while they're hot. You gotta make them the ultimate, bad, like the Elite. You gotta make. I hate that comparison, but you gotta make them the big guys.
I think with Tamina, you let her finish up her program for now and just get her away from this 24/7 nonsense. But get her off screen for a little while so fans can kind of forget about it a little bit and then maybe go from there. But
Corey, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Please, I would be. Oh my goodness, Solo Sikoa winning a title. Yes, I'm telling you, man, we got some good fans in this show today,
you know what?
man. We got some bookers here.
Eventually, it's probably gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, dude, and again, I think it would be the best decision just from the fact that you have that continuity. You've established that, look, hey, these guys are related to the bloodline. Like they're going to, if you watch a Solo Sikoa match, they talk about the Usos. They talk about Roman. Like, you need that in there. Naomi, that's a really, really good pick. And it's not from the fact that she's related. In obviously, she's, married to Jimmy, but it just makes sense. And she could turn heel. She'd be a great piece. And you get that kind of like the bloodline, circling. I mean, everybody's just going to be gunning for trying to take down that top dog. And then, I mean, come on, dude, the head of the table, the head of the family, and then you bring in The Rock for a WrestleMania match. I mean, that's the story really, really, really does write itself. It would be honestly a travesty if WWE messes this up. I mean, this has been going for 2 years now. Since Roman came back at SummerSlam, this has been
and it's been great. And as those that are watching right now, have proved that there's so much more that they can do with this bloodline storyline. Let me see. Let's check this out. Let's see what we got. Whenever the Usos lose the SmackDown Tag Team Championships or Roman Reigns loses, that's when the blood.
I think we start to see the crumble. I think we start to see The Rock come in. I think that's right when that happens. And I'm still holding to my prediction. Drew McIntyre's winning at Cardiff. I think that's going to be a huge British Bulldog 92 moment.
So I have an idea about that, but we're going to talk about that. I have an idea that we may have not talked about because I talked about it yesterday on the show. You might like this. I
love that, but yeah, I'm not gonna stray away. I called my shot, man. Shooters got to shoot, so that's how we do it. But I'm picking Drew to win, and I think that's when we start seeing Dwayne.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, because those of you guys that are watching, we've been predicting The Rock versus Roman Reigns for next year's WrestleMania.
from the minute that he came back at SummerSlam.
We've been booking this for 2 years now. We've been booking this. The moment we found out that WrestleMania is going to be in LA for next year, we've been booking Roman Reigns versus The Rock for 2 years now. So I believe it's going to happen.
You have to think that. So what? WWE's announced 2 years in advance of what WrestleMania is? Does that sound right?
I mean,
yes.
They were typically doing that up until
Yes. Read that comment, read it, believe it. It's so true. I mean, that is AEW has done that. They've found a really good way of pulling the trigger and keeping that fan interest. And I think WWE really, I'm not trying to turn this into a WWE or AEW conversation, but WWE really has a good chance to pull off. I mean, come on, dude. Like, let's just be real. This might be one of the best long form storytelling, storylines since Austin Rock. I mean, we're talking about a 3-year span almost of what this is going to be. But if they announce WrestleMania 2 years in advance, you have to think that they've had some thought of doing Rock and Roman well in advance, at Hollywood. And it makes too much sense for that to not be the main event. And like the fact that we're talking, Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast is going to be there, dude. Like, I can't wait, dude. I'm guaranteeing that match happens. Unless if some super unforeseen event happens, The Rock versus Roman main event night 2, I promise you, book it.
So for those of you guys that are watching, this is our WWE Wrestlemania Backlash prediction show.
Yeah, dude.
Cody, you very well could be right. We're gonna get right back.
He's number 2. I think he's number 2.
He is. He's up there. This is our prediction show. We're gonna jump right into the card. Then we'll go back to a little more Roman Reigns because
dude.
I want to run something by you.
16 minutes in, man. We're just now getting into our predictions. You gotta love that.
So for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you're subscribed. Help us out, but share with your friends. That helps us out a lot.
Hey, I saw you put that link in the chat. There you go. You read my mind, man. Look at you. Hey, man.
The link for our T-shirt. We're on Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees.
Big,
other than WWE.com, Pro Wrestling Tees is the biggest website for wrestling T-shirts, and we are on.
This is a college basketball shirt, but dude, I'm telling you, the amount of shirts that kind of look like this that I bought from Pro Wrestling Tees is ridiculous, dude. They have such a good selection, and
I love their quality. Never mind,
just really, yes.
I love the quality. I got the
just
AEW,
to even be like. You got the Punk one, okay?
The Punk Chicago one, AEW.
Oh, okay. So I got the
comfortable.
I got the Punk black one. I got the Punk white one, and then I just got a Punk MJF dog collar match one. That's like a wrestling, like old school wrestling style poster. Favorite shirt that I own, dude.
That's awesome. All right, so let's dive right in. SmackDown Women's Championship, which appears to be the only title on the line tomorrow, which doesn't really make sense.
You can't be kidding me. Are you serious?
This appears to be the only title on the line. Like I looked on WWE.com.
At WrestleMania Backlash. Oh my goodness.
I looked at WWE.com and they only have 6 matches updated. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
It's terrible.
That's not right. And then I looked on CBS Sports. I just Googled WrestleMania Backlash predictions. CBS Sports is also saying 6 matches. So I'm like, are they not doing Becky versus Asuka? As a singles match, which I think could happen. Maybe that's a late add-on.
It's at SummerSlam. Do you hold
Bianca
that
Belair
for that
not
long?
on a card? I don't know.
That's weird. Only one. Now I will say this: I have not looked at the card, in a while. So I know I know the matches that are happening, but that's weird, dude. One title match, and you're calling it WrestleMania Backlash. I mean, I don't like the branding that they changed this to last year. I really think it hampers them. And
you want to know
now
what's
we're
really
even seeing it
weird?
even more.
Ricochet was on SmackDown last night. So for those of you guys that are watching, I was at WWE SmackDown last night from Nassau Coliseum, which is about 45 minutes away from my house. So I decided to go after work. And Ricochet was the first match. He was the dark match before SmackDown went on the air against LA Knight. And how do you have Ricochet, your Intercontinental Champion, on a dark match?
Dude, is he defended the title outside of that one match? It wasn't even WrestleMania, man. It was the WrestleMania before SmackDown. Or it was a SmackDown before WrestleMania. Really, WrestleMania rehash, not Backlash. And I saw that quick comment right there about beating The Rock would immortalize Roman. I agree.
Forget it.
But we are getting. I promise you, I love that we're getting the Roman conversation going. We're getting into that because
just wait
this is a big.
Watch what I got for you.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it, man.
Because you didn't think of this.
Okay,
and maybe we touched on it, but
and that's saying something because I like to think deep and go try to pick the out there.
Yeah.
Ballpark pick for a prediction.
And let me tell you guys, whenever we predict stuff, we get it wrong sometimes, but we don't always get it wrong.
I do have to admit our long form like picking is pretty darn good, dude. Like we kind of keep it going for like some of the like out there decisions that we're like, oh, this is gonna happen in 5-6 months. Like we really do a pretty good job at that.
I totally agree. The WrestleMania tag to Backlash is ridiculous. I agree. I can't argue.
We've had, if it tells you anything, we've had 6 shows named after WrestleMania in the last month and a half.
Oh my gosh.
6 shows. Isn't that crazy?
So yesterday I had, don't get me wrong, I had fun at SmackDown yesterday, but it was just a lot of kids. It was a lot of families. There was a lot of kids. Like,
well, come on. I mean,
like,
they're for family entertainment.
I'm comparing it like back when I started going to wrestling events in the late 90s into the early 2000s, more consistently in the early 2000s. It was always 1840 to 9. So what you see in AEW crowd now is
Correct.
what the crowd was for Raw and SmackDown, and the anticipation was so much greater.
I'm surprised you could
even.
I'm surprised you could even see all the people with all the signs that were up back 22 years ago, which is crazy because really, again, like you said, night and day. I mean, some of the old like shots where you see like the crowd and it's just sign after sign is ridiculous, and you would never see that now.
So I walked into the metal detector yesterday in Nassau, and I had my jacket on. They told me to open my jacket, so I opened it. I'm like thinking to myself, what are they checking to see if I'm wearing an AEW shirt? And what are they going to tell me to take it off if I don't know.
we don't
or
like
they
that
checking
kind.
for a gun? Like, what are they looking for?
AEW kind isn't welcome.
I already went through the metal detector and I got in safe. What are you looking for? Anyway, moving on. SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair defended against Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. Tommy, I know you're not gonna like this, but an I Quit match
Don't you dare.
Not just submission match. An I Quit match can be somebody beating the heck out of somebody like 20 times consecutively, and the other person gives up. It could be anything. There are multiple ways. It's not submission. Now, if this were a submission match, I'd be like, hands down, they booked themselves into the corner that Ronda Rousey has to win.
Yeah.
And hands down, if for some reason that didn't happen and Charlotte taps out Ronda Rousey, like the crowd is gonna be shocked for sure. And a straight up fair submission match,
correct.
The crowd's gonna be shocked. So the I Quit match adds more loopholes. It's not just quitting because of submission. It could be quitting because maybe somebody's handcuffed to something and can't defend themselves anymore.
Please, gosh, don't do the old John Cena Batista finish. Oh my goodness. They could do it too because Charlotte does the figure 4. Oh no.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Wayne, what are you saying?
There are loopholes for this match where they can go either way, with Charlotte possibly winning or Ronda was it. Now, I'm favoring Ronda. Don't get me wrong. I'm favoring Ronda. For her to lose 2 matches in a row, I don't know. I think you got to give Ronda the win here. Just get the belt off of Charlotte. She's got to. That belt's got to stay away from her for a while. But
needs to stay away from her forever. If you're asking,
she is doing some good heel work. She's doing good heel work. She's pissing me off every time I have to listen to her. So,
I mean, here's the thing, man. I know I talk,
but
a lot
they've
about
kind of made this match where it can go either way.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, as much as funny thing, we always talk about how like we always like agree on this show, like we're always kind of, which is good because we're like we said, we're normally pretty right, like we have a good wavelength. But I just I really do get what you're saying, and I do think that it would be a shock if Charlotte wins. That's again, I'm reading these comments as they come in, like as you're talking, and so I'm kind of like framing my mindset around these, but and also, I love the comment interaction that we're getting right now. Yellow Boy and my man Corey. Just really, really getting at it today. I love it. But it's like you said, it doesn't make sense for Ronda to lose twice. Why bring her back after how long she was really Gone. You're right, Corey. Guess what? Join the club. But
I love it.
I just don't. You could not sell me on the fact that Charlotte, and again, let's all just put it out there. We know what wrestling is. It's not the UFC. It's not. It's got its behind the scenes stuff, but you can't fully convince me, fake or not, that Charlotte could be I hate this name, but the baddest woman on the planet. She's the first woman UFC Hall of Famer. I mean, she is a legit badass. There's just no point in her losing. Like, and again, it just comes back even to the fact that, like, why bring her back? Like, there is the thing where, like you said, you could leave the door open to where you could continue this for. I'm sure they fight again at Hell in a Cell. I'd love to see it, with Ronda winning, and then Ronda kind of getting that step over. I don't think Charlotte's lost to Hell in a Cell, or if she has, it's only been one, and she's been in a few. But it just doesn't really make sense for me for them to bring her back, make this big pomp and circus about Ronda Rousey's coming back after 2 years. Like, why? What's the point of putting her back, and especially putting her back in a title picture and having her not win? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going Ronda all the way. Like, I do get your reasoning behind that, but in an I Quit match, there's just no way I could actively think that Charlotte's winning. But then you said the whole handcuff thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did the John Cena Batista finish, just because they can make it somewhat slightly different from the fact that Charlotte can do the figure four and she could lock it in on the outside, like kind of around the turnbuckle or the post, I guess. So that option's open, but man, 99% of me says it's Ronda, and I'm gonna stick to that. So that's my prediction for that one.
I mean, I'm leaning more towards Ronda too, but I feel like I'm foreseeing loopholes that could have WWE find a way to keep that belt on Charlotte.
Oh, I'm sure. They would love to. They'd love to, but it just, I think it would be better.
After all, I mean, they want to get Charlotte to 16 championships, so why
Correct.
not have her lose it this Sunday and then gain it back a month later?
Don't you stop that. You stop that right now.
Been Charlotte's whole career.
You stop that right now.
It's so weird. It's almost
it
like
really is.
It's tainted. It's tainted.
It really is. But I do think that, coming off that WrestleMania 35 match, I think Ronda kind of getting that win here, winning the title, and then kind of fully cementing it in a Hell in a Cell match with a win. I think that kind of fully kind of creates that storyline to where you could put a bow on it and like still be able to go back to it in the future. Because obviously these two, they do work well together. I do think that Charlotte is a damn good wrestler. I really do. I do not like her character at all. I don't like the fact that, like you said, she's well on her way to winning 16 titles. Like, it just, I don't like being force-fed and told you need to like this person or you need to hate this person. I'll pick and choose myself. So
16 titles in 5 years.
That's ridiculous. That is so, because what she debuted 20
I think
into 14, 15.
Yeah, right around there. This current title reign.
Oh, that's terrible, dude.
This current title reign, I think, might be her longest that she's had.
And let's look at that from the fact that, really, will anyone care? No, dude. There's nobody. If you care about this match, I'm sorry. Good on you, because I don't. This is the first time, I think, in an I Quit match history, and there's been some darn good I Quit matches, some really, really good I Quit matches, and this one just, I'm sure they'll probably exceed expectations just from the fact that they're probably pretty low for most people, but God, I just could care less about this match. And the fact that you said it's the only title match,
it is the only title match.
But I agree. I do. Yeah. I know you're about to say. I do think this will be a good match. I do think
had a nice little brawl on SmackDown last night. The crowd was digging it. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I bet that you were there live, so you got the better opinion of that.
Let's get some of the nonsense out of the way. Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss.
Nonsense. What do you mean? Madcap's a star.
You know what? Believe it or not, I mean, he might be onto something. I'm not sure.
You didn't want to admit
the crowd is digging him. I'm not too sure if he's really over with me or not yet.
I'm digging it, man.
The crowd was over. He knows how to get the crowd going. The crowd was loving it. Again,
and Corbin's out.
I don't know how Madcap Moss would get over the 18 to 49 crowd.
Correct.
But the kids were loving it yesterday.
Yeah, you don't like his suspenders, his shirtless look and the little shorts. Wait, what are you talking about? That's like my style. That's the 24-year-old style that I'm rocking over here. I won't put that on the show though. Not no matter what. There's no way you're seeing that.
Halloween.
No, never. Maybe if I maybe if you convince me, maybe if we have a big show coming up for Halloween or something, maybe I'll dress up as Madcap.
I think Happy Corbin gets a win here.
Really?
I mean,
really? Okay,
Happy Corbin
I disagree.
Doesn't really lose too much unless it's against a big star.
That is very true, and I did want to say that
unless they have a plan to push Madcap Moss,
which I think they do. I do want to say that I think Baron Corbin just does not get enough credit for just how good he is, dude. Like he is such a pro, like such a darn good heel. Like he really, really can take a storyline that, I'm going to be honest, man, I did not care for this at all, but the WrestleMania match was quite enjoyable. Like I kind of enjoy it, but I think Madcap gets the win, man. I think it's again, I think we're going to see a lot of the young guys and gals get the win here.
You know what? I don't know if it would be my bathroom break match.
Yeah, no, that's a Charlotte match for me, man.
But the entrances, I don't care for their entrances, to be honest. So that I could take a bathroom break there for sure.
That's very true.
Madcap Moss can work. He's a good in-ring worker. There's no doubt about it.
And that's coming off. He took a big bump at WrestleMania.
Oh,
I don't remember what it was. Do you remember that? It was like I don't remember if it was a leg injury or if it was Moss did. They had a little bit of a botch.
Oh, that was before WrestleMania. It was one of the maybe a pay-per-view or two before Mania.
Okay. Well, I still feel like he's got to be feeling
he
some residual
square on his head.
Yeah, he's got to. I'm telling you, from a person, I've had 7 concussions. Like he's feeling some residual effects from that.
Elimination Chamber. I sort of figured it was a show.
Okay,
right
Chamber.
Mania.
Okay,
yeah.
I knew it was within the last few months. Man, you guys are killing it in the comments. Corey and my boy Yellow Boy, you guys are just absolutely destroying it. I love it.
Yeah, no, we're getting some good comments today.
He's terrible. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The comments are crazy today. I love it.
Charles Barkley. Oh man, he's a character.
Terrible.
Bobby Lashley versus Omos. I think Omos. I gotta go Omos.
Yeah. I think as much as I don't want him to
heel turn.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to build them up.
Wow, you said let's get the bad stuff out of the way, and you weren't joking, man. That's who cares. I mean, like I know they had I know the arm wrestling challenges are always like big YouTube views for WWE, but like
you knew that was going to turn into a brawl.
Oh, of course, it always does, but I know that they get like
that
million, 2 million views.
The weddings
always getting good views. But man, I just who cares about this match? I mean, I'm sorry, man. Omos is just not gonna get over, man. Unless they're gonna book him like the Great Khali. Like, I think having MVP as his talker is way better than they could have ever done. But
yeah, it
just. I keep doing this shrug today because I feel like that's kind of my whole reaction to this whole show is, it's whatever. It's just a WWE pay-per-view, in the middle of May.
I think Omos gets the win here. I think you got to with Omos, you kind of have to continue to build him as like an unbeatable monster. At this point.
You have if you're gonna get him over in any sense, you got to keep going with him, dude. You got to let MVP talk. You got to let him just. He's got to get a domino win, dude. I really do think he's got to beat the hell out of Bobby tomorrow.
for sure. And I think MVP is going to get in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lashley loses cleanly. I think we're going to get some considerable amount of offense with Lashley.
Yeah,
MVP,
and then the heel tactic.
and then Omos gets the win.
The classic
So
WWE
this way you can justify,
switcheroo.
this way you can kind of justify Lashley losing without having to take a big hit.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's the first one we agree on today, man. I'm glad. I do see my man Tim with a comment right there.
Oh, so we got to save that. We got to save that.
Okay.
Tim,
okay.
we're going to acknowledge that. We're going to acknowledge that a little later.
Acknowledge me.
We're going to acknowledge that a little later.
But this is a sidebar. If you're wondering, like, oh man, Tommy's like dominating this conversation. I have been running on about 27 hours of no sleep. My shift's been changed for this weekend. But let me tell you, dude, the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. We got a pay-per-view tomorrow. We're here. We're enjoying it. We're grinding, dude. We're making some moves recently, dude. I'm really excited.
For sure. AJ Styles versus Edge in what arguably could be the best match of the night. It's, in my opinion,
Should be
this match and Cody and Seth. But this is going to be a great match. I got some predictions here, and this might even be a spoiler. So we know that Damian Priest is banned from ringside, so he can't show up.
Correct.
So maybe somebody else can show up.
So
maybe. I'm thinking.
I did predict it in our stable show. I did predict that.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking maybe Finn Balor.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even make the connection. Now that would be
AJ did the Too Sweet on Monday night. Now some people were saying, "Oh, it could be just an homage because Bullet Club Day was the next day."
I think the Bullet Club is over, man. Bullet Club's over.
And maybe they form a tag team. Maybe they're gonna start having Finn and AJ as a tag team. Maybe, but there's also that possibility that Finn can maybe come out for the save and turn on AJ, and then you have Finn Balor with Edge and Damian Priest a part of Judgment Day. And maybe Tommaso Ciampa.
I'm sorry, but what a waste.
Tommaso Ciampa comes out, maybe interferes.
Yeah.
And then Finn Balor kind of comes to the save. And then
what a waste it would be if AJ and Finn Balor were a tag team. Like, I'm sure that would be a fantastic team, and you'd have a good match with RK Bro. But like, God, that would be so bad. That would be really really flowing down the card.
So it might not happen, but if it does, you heard it here first.
No. I actually, I kind of like that. Like, and I don't know what that Bullet Club
Finn Balor needs something to do.
He does. I don't know if that reference is, because Bullet Club's so over. I mean, if you're not watching New Japan, please, go watch New Japan. Get yourself ready for Forbidden Door. It's going to be fantastic. But it could also be an answer to the fact that WWE knows that AEW's got the Bullet Club will be at that pay-per-view. I mean, it's Bullet Club Elite. I mean, guaranteed. I'd put money on anything that's what it's going to be. So, is that an answer to that? Is it just, hey, we know Bullet Club's hot, let's get on the action? Or is it a tease, like you said, to where we're getting some dissension and then we're going to see Finn Balor join Judgment Day? But I don't know what you think about it. Dude, anytime I hear Edge's theme song, I get so hyped. His new song is fantastic. I love his character.
Yes.
I just bought I don't know if you know this. It's the same band who did his last song, Metalingus. I just bought a band T-shirt because, I swear to you, dude, I listened. Is it Alter Bridge?
Yeah, Metalingus is the song. Alter Bridge is the
yes, thank you. Oh, I missed it up. Yes. I listen to their new song all the time, every day. It's such a banger, and I love Edge's heel work. I mean, Edge is just better as a heel in general. So I love that Damian Priest is here, but I really do think, like you said, I think we're going to see either Finn Balor or I think we're going to see a Tommaso Ciampa come out tomorrow. Might even see Rhea Ripley.
I'm not too sure if I don't know. AJ's flip flop a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Same as Finn Balor, flip flop, back and forth, back and forth. More
Yeah,
so,
especially in those,
face.
which is funny because we're talking about the Bullet Club. I mean, especially in those Bullet Club days, dude, they were switching like crazy.
Yeah. So I'm not sure you could. You could. You can go either way. Yeah.
I would like to see a tag team like saying that. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. But then again, I look at it, I'm just like the way the tag team division it is, and the way that like I just feel like they'd be shoved down the card, and like those two, if there's any two people on the card that don't deserve being, just randomly thrown together, tag team, it's AJ Styles and Finn Balor. I mean, those guys should be in any other company, probably like, winning your world title. Like, and that's, I honestly would love to see if Finn Balor leaves, I'd love to see him go back to New Japan. If he if he and Jay White kind of had a fight for who was the leader of Bullet Club, my little wrestling nerd heart, I don't think we could take it, man.
So who wins? I got Edge.
I got Edge. Yeah,
I got Edge. So the Edge,
you gotta build that stable, man. You gotta build something.
You gotta build that stable for sure. The odds are kind of already stacked against him in that Damian Priest is banned. Okay, but nobody else is banned. So
Correct.
I'm thinking that we get at least one person showing up.
I wanted to ask you, do you think in his new character, do you think Edge wrestles a little different? I can't tell if his like his in-ring style is any different with this character, or if it's just the character work, because I feel like he's kind of working a more methodical kind of, if that's the right word to use in that sense. Like he's working a more slower pace, like kind of getting your head that heel work almost. But I also feel like that's kind of been his career.
I feel like he's a little bit more conservative now. Being older in his age in his career,
Correct.
so he's got to be,
But he's put on some bangers recently, dude. He really has put on some good matches.
He has. Edge picks and chooses his spots wisely for sure.
I see that Yellow Boy comment. Yellow Boy, are you a fan of the stables? Do we need to go down and list all the stables that I came up with? Because I mean, that was a good 20-minute conversation we had on Wrestlemania night. But I agree. You need to build that stable looking strong. Judgment Day is a cool name. I think it's a cool like kind of look going back to that Judgment Day. Was that 08 poster that they had? Yeah, I think that's a. I dig it, man. I really, really dig this new stable. I think it's perfect for Damian Priest. I've been a big fan of his, and I'm sure that they see him in the same way. I think he's him, and you know, I'll give you credit. You always called on Austin Theory, like even before he was in NXT, on how he was going to be, the star, and he's really, yeah, really the house. I couldn't read that without laughing. The House of Purple. Dude, I'm telling you, Yellow Boy, you are putting out some hilarious comments right now. This is I'm enjoying this a lot. But yeah, man, it just doesn't make sense for Judgment Day not to win, for Edge not to win. I don't think AJ needs to win in a sense. Like I've said that a lot about past people. You don't need the win to keep your character strong. Like, he's going to be a top name always. But if you said AJ Styles is main event in Hell in a Cell, nobody would be batting an eye. I just don't see the point of having Edge not winning this match and not continuing the stable. But also, like you said, bringing in somebody new. I think that really would work here, especially on a pay-per-view.
Rhea Ripley has been rumored to join Judgment Day. A lot of people have been talking about that. I can see it. Alexa Bliss, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that wouldn't be interesting.
The women's division could use a tag team.
I would be down with it, and honestly, it'd be kind of surprising because normally you don't see like a stable. You remember the Dangerous Alliance?
I mean, honestly, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan made the most sense there, but
until they broke up.
They kept booking Rhea and Liv Morgan to lose matches.
Yeah.
So after a while, it got stale. Had they had the momentum going, it would have made more sense to go with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but do you remember like the Dangerous Alliance? How there was like people, every, Medusa was there. They had there's another woman at some point, I think. But I mean, you're adding more people to it, but you're adding both sides. Like you're adding badass women, you're adding badass dudes. Like Rhea Ripley it's a badass, and we haven't seen Alexa Bliss in a hot minute. And yes, that is 100% correct. She needs something to do.
They might be trying to repackage her. I don't know what's happening there.
I'm really struggling with this. I had the comment up. I was trying to point to it, but you knew what I was looking for. You're going for the bottom.
Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, another match of what possibly could be potential steal the show for sure. So I'm excited about these two single matches.
Vince he doesn't want that, man. Don't say steal the show anymore.
Don't say steal the show.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is going to be a good one.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think you have Seth win and have him cheat to win.
Correct.
Setting up a rubber match with Cody winning that rubber match some point down the line.
Hell in a Cell. It just makes too much sense. I
could be in a Hell in a Cell, but how many Hell in a Cell matches we're gonna do?
Well, I'm not just saying like it has to be Hell in a Cell. I'm just saying like I think that rubber match. Yeah, I think we get Roman in a Hell in a Cell
by cheating.
Yeah, I honestly think we get Ronda and Charlotte. Now, this is looking at it from the fact that we have had 3 Hell in a Cell matches before at a show, and it was not good. I don't think I enjoyed it at all. But I only think we get 2 this year. I think we get Ronda and Charlotte, and I think we do get that unification title. Usos and RK Bro. But I do think that you're right. I do think it just doesn't make sense. Seth doesn't need to lose twice. Cody doesn't need to win. The dude's over, dude. Like let's just be honest. I mean, the dude has kept the exact same character from AEW and is even more over than he ever was, I think, in AEW, and that's really impressive. And that's kudos to WWE. I just don't think that he needs the win here. I still think he could, like you said, get that rubber match win, set him up, kind of go and put him in the title picture. I think that's right around the time where you can kind of start building to where he's going after Roman or Drew, and that's what he's the next challenger after whoever wins at Cardiff. I do think that no matter whether who wins, that's the match is Roman and Drew. Whoever wins that match, I think Cody's the next guy.
I mean, so we'll get to the Roman Reigns thing in a second. But Cody is very well in that lineup of like top 2 or 3. That
Correct.
Could be the one to take the title off of Reigns. We've seen on Raw 2 weeks ago him planting the seeds of him wanting to win a world title for his dad. So he couldn't win in AEW because he basically booked himself into a corner that he couldn't win.
Correct. He did. But I will say that I do think if there was any motivation for Cody to kind of be that title holder and for something for people to like buy into, believe, get behind, I want to do it, because my dad never did it. Never did it. And, Dusty's obviously one of the most respected guys in the entire business. So I do think that the way they're kind of presenting Cody and, his title chase and everything, I think they're doing a fantastic job. I don't know. I know some people aren't the biggest fans of the jump and everything. I've been a fan of it. I've been a fan of the fact that they really, like I said, they haven't changed anything, dude. Like he really is. The only thing they got rid of was Cody Vader, and he's bringing out the Cody Cutter a little bit more than normal, and he's still Cody Rhodes. I mean, he is the executive vice president of AEW, but now he's in WWE. Like it really is impressive how well they've done of kind of keeping him over, but still like improving on his character and everything.
Yeah,
exactly. I do agree. I think Cody has. I've heard him talk about it. I haven't watched yesterday's Broken Skull sessions.
I'm gonna watch it today.
That's what I'm planning on doing myself, man. I've
Yeah.
heard it. I've heard it's pretty darn good. But I've heard him say he's got the most lucrative contract in the business. I don't doubt it, in the
But
slightest.
listen,
I
look what he
really
did
do
for
think that
AEW. He launched that organization off the
that's the
ground,
thing, man. I'm telling you,
and
like
he
that's
raised his stock while he was gone from WWE those years.
yeah. It's like, you could talk about, there's 4 executive vice presidents, whatever. Cody is the name. The name that most American pro wrestling fans know is Cody Rhodes. Young Bucks and Omega were pretty popular in Japan, and we're in for that hardcore audience that I think AEW has now. But Cody is the guy that you associate with AEW that's not named Tony Khan or Chris Jericho at the very beginning, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sure.
I fully I'm very impressed. I was thinking it was only going to be like a one night thing, WrestleMania, and then he was going to come out on Raw, and it was just going to be, same old WWE, ruining a character or something. But they've done a really, really good job with Cody so far.
So Tim says that Seth wins. I'm leaning towards that to set up a third and final match.
Yep, at Hell in a Cell 2, he called it, man. I'm telling you.
Seth doesn't win cleanly, though. I can say.
Hey, who are these people in our comments, man? They've been booking it just like us today. I got to give credit.
Loving.
We got some fans. Are you stealing
this.
our ideas, fans? I mean, come on now.
I am loving it. Listen, we got some smart fans in our chat.
We do. We really do, man. We got to keep track of like how good we do each pay-per-view, like, percentage wise, and see if we really do stack up to what we're talking about. Because we do, I feel like we do predict pretty well.
Okay, cool. So we're getting to the good stuff. Okay. But for those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for watching. We're gonna try to come at you guys with a post show immediately following the pay-per-view tomorrow.
We'll be there. Yeah, we'll be there, man.
Worst case scenario, our next episode 89, will have that. All our reactions, but we're aiming to do a show after Backlash immediately following. And don't forget, we have our shirt on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Yes.
Search for the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are there. Get you a shirt.
Hey man, I'm getting one. You're getting one. You can look like both of us.
I had to pay full price.
Hey, I did too, man. Whether you want to look like us or not. I mean, it is a pretty cool shirt, dude. Shout out again, dude.
All proceeds kind of go. For now, all proceeds go towards just the needs of the podcast and what have you.
Yeah.
Not our needs, the needs of the podcast.
The needs of the podcast. It's a group effort, man.
Depending on the sales, depending on how many sales we get, we may even do a donation. I thought of the idea of maybe doing a donation to the Ukraine.
Yes.
So I haven't pitched that, so only you guys can help us out with that. Anyhow, that's just an idea.
I do got to give a shout out again, because now I know that we're on Pro Wrestling Pro Wrestling Tees, man. My dad, dude, he helped us design that logo. Yep. Scott Smith, dude, I'm telling you, man, he's a wizard when it comes to graphic design and everything like that. So shout out to him. I know we're both really appreciative of the fact that he's kind of helped us change our podcast look and everything. And man, now it's on a t-shirt, dude. Like that's pretty darn cool. Like it is almost like a really cool feeling to think that I'm wearing our podcast t-shirt, like that me and you have done, and like Gage has helped us, and Randy and Joe and
Jay
Frank
Diaz.
Manzo, Jay Diaz. I mean, like the entire crew, but like also like my dad's, I'm wearing my shirt with my dad's logo on it. Like that is pretty humbling and pretty cool. So, hey man, go buy our shirt. Support the crew. I talked about how pretty tired, and I know you're pretty tired too. You're at SmackDown, but the hardest working podcast in the business, man. We keep it going every day, no matter what. Always tweeting, always watching. Always trying to keep up with the news, dude.
So let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the good stuff that I promised. So I'm gonna throw an idea out there to you guys.
Ooh, okay, VPW.
And I want to hear what you guys think about this.
Tim, what is VPW?
Pro Wrestling is based out of around Center Reach. It's a Long Island indie promotion.
Okay, so that's New York. Okay.
Yeah, Long Island indie promotion. NYWC is one. It's another big one over there. So there's a couple indie promotions here on.
Hey man, I'm actually going to an indie show. I think it's like Lockdown Pro Wrestling here in Indianapolis in a couple weeks. Telling you, man, the indie. I keep tweeting about it, and I hope you follow along for our live tweets. I'll be live tweeting tomorrow's show, Backlash from the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. I had a pretty good interaction with the AEW show, but I'm telling you, man, like we're going, dude. Like the wrestling business is just fun right now. Like it really is just a fun time to be a fan, and I think that you can agree to that from the fact, even the 15-20 year difference, like, of us being fans and you going to so many more shows than I have. Like, it really is there's just so much to watch, man. There's so much to enjoy as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple comments in the Facebook chat too that you can't see on here. It's in the WW. So we have a Facebook group, by the way. It's called WWE and AEW fans. Did I say that right? Yeah, WWE and AEW wrestling fans is our
Correct.
Facebook group. We have about 800 people in there. So we got some comments in there too regarding. But if you're watching this, put it in the YouTube chat. In this way,
Yeah, man.
Everybody can see the comment. We can talk about it.
Let's interact with you. We're having a good. It's been a good Saturday so far, dude.
For sure. Okay, so let's get to the main event. All right. We have Drew McIntyre. Do you guys want to hear me flip out? Whoever's watching, if you guys want to hear me flip out, throw a comment in there, and I'm gonna rev up. Do
we still have that video of you? You may not be flipping out, but I think there's some like little segment we have that.
There is a couple. Oh yes. We haven't busted this out in a while.
He gets what I'm saying. He knows what I'm doing.
Let's see if I.
Yeah, what do you got for us, Wayne? What do you got for us?
Let's see if I even have it downloaded here on this laptop. Let's see what we got.
Let me tell you, Wayne has a little.
No, it's not that one.
Wayne has a little problem with some wrestling storylines, and when Wayne has a problem with a wrestling storyline or a wrestling match or whatever, we call it a little a Wayne
Yellow boy
segment.
wants me to go for it.
He wants. Oh, go for it, dude! I'm telling you, dude. I think it's like a. Where's your Viking helmet?
They had me so excited. They had me so excited for finally unifying the tag team divisions and fixing the tag team division by finally merging the tag team titles into one. Merging when the two tag titles meet together, become one. So I was excited to see the Raw and the SmackDown title, tag team titles meet and become one.
Unified, yes.
Unified, so we can actually have a division of 8 tag teams where the tag team champions can go on both shows and see more possibilities. But no, they had to rip off the contract, rip it up, and call an audible so that we can get a 6-man tag team match that means absolutely nothing. Why must we be invested into this match? We already know that Roman Reigns and the Usos are gonna win. They stood what you call it? RK Bro and Drew McIntyre stood tall on Friday night.
Correct. That thing, yeah.
That Roman Reigns, the Usos are gonna stand tall, nothing on the line. He's wrestling a defender, not even defending his title. It makes no sense. Why?
You know what's funny is I saw a picture of
unified the world title. Just do the rest.
Really, I saw a picture of like some of the canceled matches that we've got recently that have just been like should have been superstar matches like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, like just stuff like that. And this was one of them. And I fully agree. Like I didn't think about it like a week ago. Now I'm really upset that this match doesn't have the title on the line.
Not to say that it won't happen, but it's probably not. They squashed it. They buried it. Good
job, WWE. You ruined your own storyline. You had it. You had me. You had us ready for a big old play, and you ruined it.
Oh, so by the way, this is the video. This is the video I was looking for. I haven't used it in a while. I'll show you guys really quick. I should use it a little bit more often. Here it goes.
Oh my goodness.
So that
What?
is the burial segment.
Oh no. What is
Dude,
that?
I
The
got
old
Roman
Viking
Reigns and
helmet, dude. I
Usos
love
winning.
that.
Roman Reigns and Usos are winning
Oh,
the
without
main
a doubt.
event. They're standing tall,
Yes.
the bloodline. But so the other thing is too that there are no titles on the
Bloodline.
line here. Nothing's on the line here, so they may get away with giving Drew the win for his team to maybe build momentum if in fact that they're gonna go the route of Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at a later point. So
which
you
Tommy
could
is
do
calling.
that too. I think Roman Reigns and Usos win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Drew and RK Bro if they're going the route of Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at a later date.
Even with my prediction of them going for that match, I don't think that Roman loses. I just don't see the point of them
Roman
losing.
doesn't take the pin. I don't think Roman takes the pin here.
I just don't
No,
even think
Roman
that RK Bro
and
and
Uso would take the pin, and RK
correct.
and maybe Drew would get the win for
I
the
just
team.
maybe if you're building that out for that match, I just think that I think it makes sense for you to go strong and just keep letting Roman Reigns like get over, not over, but you know what I mean, like keep just building that final boss power. And then when I predicted it for weeks now, when Drew McIntyre beats Roman at Cardiff at Clash at the Castle, you know, at the SummerSlam 92 British Bulldog moment, like, you know, it means that much more. So
well,
I'm looking
gonna
forward
put a
to it. But
stop.
yeah, I got the Usos. I got the bloodline winning this one.
I gotta put a stop there for a second. So I
Oh
need to
boy.
backtrack to one of Tim's comments that he posted. I didn't want to show it.
How are you tying this in? Hold on now. Wait a second.
Oh, you're gonna love
Wait a
this. Let's
second
see if I
here.
can find this comment.
Now I'm intrigued. You got me intrigued. You got my attention.
You were gonna love
Because
this.
I know the comment you're referring to.
Where is this comment? Let me see. Let's go here.
It was right after
you gotta love. You gotta love.
Corbin.
Yeah, was it? Okay, so there's more.
Yeah, he said Elimination Chamber is the one right before it.
It was right before Elimination Chamber. All right.
Or
If
after
I can get it, I'll pull it up. If not, I'll just continue.
We'll read it.
You gotta love being live.
Yeah, dude.
Live on
This
a
is
Saturday
fun.
afternoon.
Hey, you know what's
1:40
funny is
here on the East Coast, New York.
made my my television debut today on live TV at my job. So you know you gotta love live TV, dude. If it tells you anything, I don't know if you've seen the picture yet, Wayne. I think it's shared on my Facebook.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Oh, okay. But there's a picture of me that's circulating the internet of me wearing a pink Kentucky Derby hat on TV today, on national TV. So
I need to see this.
Well, you'll see it. You follow my Twitter, dude. I'm telling you, dude.
Tim made a comment, or I need to see that. I absolutely need to see that.
I will send it. I'll send it. Hey, follow it on the Aftermath Pro Wrestling. We'll send it out on there. We'll put it as our, as our background for the day.
Oh, by the way, guys, Tommy, I didn't tell you this, but we have a website in the works. So
look at this. We're dropping hot bombs on the Aftermath.
I'll give you guys more information as time goes on.
Yes.
But Tim mentioned I took a bathroom break last night during the Gunther match. I thought Moss was hilarious. I am a big fan of Gunther. I don't like calling him Gunther. I like calling him Walter.
Gunther?
He is Walter to me.
You're disappointing to me. I speak German. Gunther.
He is Walter to me. Always be known as Walter. To the UK fans, always Walter. This Gunther nonsense. WWE changing names. It's nonsense.
You're saying it wrong, Wayne. It's Gunther.
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 Oh, geez. Give me a break. It's Walter. His name is Walter. His name not Gunther. Anyhow. Gunther has definitely trimmed down a lot. He looks great.
Yes.
I know what he could do in the ring. I was at NXT TakeOver when he defeated Pete Dunne after Pete Dunne had that title for the UK title for 2 years.
Where
Walter
was
beat
that one?
in NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah.
I think right before WrestleMania 35.
Brooklyn 3? Is that Brooklyn 3?
So yeah, NXT Takeover 3 or something, but
Okay.
either way, it was before 35. So that would have been 3 years ago, 2019. Yeah. So great match. I highly recommend you guys go back and watch it. I mean, Pete Dunne had some bangers in NXT.
Pete Dunne is underrated, man.
Yeah,
I like him as Butch.
Him as Butch is just ridiculous.
I like him though. It's a little sidebar, but I like him. I think he's good.
I like him, but I hope it's a character that you can push to the top.
Yes. You need to push that like Peaky Blinders kind of stable. There is no Gunther.
I have seen what Gunther can do. In his ring, he has more notoriety than most wrestlers. Somebody was comparing him to Kozlov. Actually, Joe was like, I hope he doesn't become another Kozlov. I'm like, no, Walter has so much more accomplishments and more established than Kozlov. So
Walter could actually,
I'm not going to go there.
No offense to Kozlov, but
now,
Walter could wrestle.
Let me tell you this. If you want to build a new star, so we got Roman Reigns that's had the championship going on 2 years as a SummerSlam.
Correct.
At this point, you can't waste his loss. Like, the person that beats Roman Reigns, you're basically telling us that this is going to be the next guy. It would make sense that this would be the next guy. This is the guy that we're going to get behind. And this is the guy we're going to... So Omos's loss was already wasted, but Roman Reigns' future loss has not been wasted yet, obviously, because the future hasn't happened yet. You gotta use his loss on somebody to elevate, build a new star. So I'm thinking at Clash of the Castle, or whatever the heck you can call it. By the way, I'm gonna be there.
You're going?
I'm going. There is a ticket saved for me. I hope I can afford the trip. But
my goodness, I'm so jealous.
Thank you,
dude.
Bob. I appreciate you.
That's gonna be so cool, dude. I can't even imagine.
My friend in UK, and that's the same weekend as All Out in Chicago, or assume it's gonna be Chicago, but it's the same weekend as All Out. And
I might be at All Out. I might be at Chicago. I live near Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get the Cardiff live shot, and I'll do the All Out live shot.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it would make the most sense to build Gunther or Walter like they did with Lex Luger, except the only difference is give Walter the title at the WWE UK pay-per-view in his home country. Or,
is he from Wales?
In his home region. I mean,
so
his whole wrestling career has been based out of the UK. So that's his home.
So what's the difference with you and him and Drew McIntyre? Because Drew's in the same boat. I do get, obviously you're building a younger star. I do still think Drew is like at a good age, and I also think like we talked about it a lot during the pandemic. Like Drew never really got that solid, like crowd pleasing win, like the one that like put him over the top to where he really like. I guess got appreciated for the fact of like carrying the company during COVID, which is a big statement. But I mean,
well, here's the thing: Drew McIntyre's run has kind of been flat.
Yeah, I agree.
And
you might call him Walter, but just because my second language is German and I am fluent in German, I'm gonna call Gunther. Gunther. I do think that he could be a.
I mean, if you want to build a new star,
that's tough, dude. That is. I agree with you.
If you want to build a new star, like listen, they can have because SummerSlam is the end of July.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So you can have Gunther be built up for the next couple months through the end of July, Roman Reigns comes out after he beats whomever, which could be Drew, but we don't know yet.
I mean, that'd be a big win.
Roman
That'd be a
Reigns.
heel win. I mean,
Roman
they would
Reigns
get a
comes
heel
out.
reaction.
Check this out. Roman Reigns comes out the next night on Raw saying he's beaten everybody in the company. No titles left. He's getting bored. Yada, yada, yada. And then out comes Gunther.
Gunta.
Out comes Gunther on Monday
I
Night
love
Raw
that you're
as
saying.
his next challenger and also a face turn at the same time. Challenging Roman Reigns at the following pay-per-view, which will be the first weekend of September.
You know what?
Because that's how they did it with Lex Luger, kind of, sort of.
Correct.
You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time to do it.
I'm not against it. I mean, Gunther beat the absolute hell. You were there live. I mean, he beat the crap out of Drew Gulak last night. Like, he's over. He's obviously still got that Walter kind of like, I don't want to say heat, but he's got the crowd reaction like behind him with that Walter situation, and I do think that he would be a surprise win. He would be a surprise, but I just don't know if he's like...
He would be a surprise. I don't think he'd be a surprise win. He would probably be a surprise challenger, although I see it coming.
I wanted to say
he'd be a surprise challenger. Because...
Correct, but like I don't want to say that in the same sense that like it's not like he's not over. Like he's just like, barely coming up. Like Walter is probably Gunta, whatever you want to call him. Like he's probably one of the more over people on the entire roster. And I mean, the dude, you have to, like you said, you got to have somebody who can believably win it. You got to have somebody who's a new star or a newer star in the sense of, I still think Drew kind of fits that. It can't be The Rock. The Rock cannot beat him and win the title like he did against CM Punk. And you got to have somebody who can like actively, believe that, oh my gosh, like he could be the champion. And I do think that Walter like could be that guy.
It's believable.
Big meaty men slapping meat. I mean, I've been a big fan of
Walter. Could work. They love Walter.
They love Walter, and I think that you have the stable kind of almost like you can kind of have that tag team with Fabian Archer and his name's crossing me, but you can have a kind of foil to the Usos to where it's just Roman and Walter, but. Gosh, that's a lot, dude. You're putting a lot on Walter's shoulders. I mean, to be the next guy to kind of win the title, I do think that could be a possibility, but that's
I think he'd handle it. Even
I'm sure he could. I'm sure he'd be a fantastic champion.
Give him a 6-month run into and past WrestleMania, and then have Cody.
I do think Cody is the next person. Again, I predicted
my short list to beat Reigns is Cody, Walter, or what's his name down in NXT? Steiner's son.
Bronson.
Rex Bronson.
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah. I have his name as well.
I agree. I
don't really pay much attention to the current NXT, to be honest. But Braun Breaker. That's my short list. 3 guys that should beat Reigns. I think it would be a little... I'm not too sure. I don't want to say wasted, but I feel like you need to push somebody new or make a star. Like I can
see that. I just feel like just because Drew's like in the title picture, he's probably going to get that win. Like he's kind of been set in that, I'm still kind of main event level. But yeah, I mean, we have the same list, dude. Cody and Braun Breaker right behind Drew McIntyre for me, man. So yeah, that's it's gonna be an interesting few months, dude. I really do think, like you said, like the person who takes that win off of Roman is, I mean, you got to be buying in. It's not like, oh, he's gonna be champion for a few months, dude. We're talking about like this dude's got to be champion for a while. Like this dude's got to be over like Rover, like this is the final boss, dude. Like this is you spent 40 hours playing a video game, and you're playing the last guy, to beat 100% the game. Like this is Roman Reigns has not been beaten. I mean, like he's not been even really come close. I mean, like in a sense, I guess you could kind of argue for some matches, but Roman's always been like the favorite, or I guess the only match where you could say he wasn't was Edge versus Bryan versus him, in the sense that you really never knew if any of the three could win. But Roman's a top dog, dude. I hate using that, the big dog, like whatever. But
Roman is having
he's the final boss.
Current title reign since CM Punk, and then before that, Kevin Nash was when he was Diesel 94 to 95.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Nash had the belt for a year. Punk a little over a year. Roman Reigns is pushing 2 years soon.
I don't know if you're a Final Fantasy fan, but he's Sephiroth, dude. Like he is the guy that like everybody's trying to beat. And I know this sounds stupid, but like he really is that kind of guy that just like the entire crowd is behind him. They're into the story. They want to see somebody beat him. They want to see him, hold the title, whichever way you side on. But everybody's invested, dude. And like you said, the person who beats Roman is got to be over like Rover, dude. Like it's got to be a big.
It will make him. It will make whoever wins. It will make Cody. It would if Cody wins. It would make Bronson Breakker if Bronson Breakker is the guy that they choose. It would make Walter, solidify Walter. It would even solidify.
Stevenson.
It would even. We haven't.
I see a comment in there that says, "Could Gable Stevenson be the one?"
Maybe it just depends on how long you want Roman Reigns to hold the belt. But no,
please no,
not now. I need to see something out of Gable Stevenson.
Man, we haven't even seen him on TV, dude. Like we haven't seen him in the ring. Like,
all right,
I'm not ready for it.
I'm not either. Let's wrap it up. Let's address the comments really quick. Whatever RK Bro loses the Raw Tag Team Champions. Yeah, me and Tommy for months have been talking about the possibility of Riddle versus Randy Orton, a split for sure. That's definitely going to happen. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe Mania. You got to do it. You got to do that match on a big stage.
Exact. I was just about to say
you don't do that, or maybe they could even do that in UK. Maybe.
For as long as you've been building, you have to do this at something that's like
it's gonna happen. Show. They're probably just selling way too much merch right now. The kids love them. So,
hey man, controversy, man, money. Make that money at the merch table. You got to keep it going for as long as you can.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can see that in a little while. From now. Let me see what else we got here. Ezekiel's big brother on TV back there.
I love the storyline.
I think Ezekiel. So if you guys, there I am on TV.
Hey, so I think it was Yellowboard who said that he's popping at the TV in the background. He was asking if we saw the rosebuds.
I was totally trying to figure out what that was. So right now it's Daniel Bryan versus a big cast, and if you go back to Backlash 2018, you might even be able to see me standing up in the background. But if you watch it on TV, Backlash 2018, live from Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center. Fast forward to before the big cast Daniel Bryan match. Do yourself a favor because you see me dead center on that hard cam right there. The whole night wearing my red Yes t-shirt. The camera even zooms on me and saying yes. The camera zooms on me. Like, I kid you not, I'm taking up the whole TV screen. It is great.
Survivor Series 2018, you said?
Backlash 2018.
Backlash. Okay.
2 years before that, Backlash 2016, I'm in the same seat, dead center, hard cam, wearing my white Jets jersey. You can't miss me. Anyhow,
I'm gonna go. I hope I'm gonna go. You're gonna post this photo of me in this pink hat. I'm gonna post this hard cam photo of you.
Yes.
Right after it.
So yeah, Yellow Boy says Drew's better at chasing championships than he is being a champion.
There's some people who are. There's some people who really are.
Yeah. Sometimes general rule of thumb is that it's better for the good guy to chase
Correct.
You know, it's.
I mean, look at
money's
Becky.
in the
You know,
chase sometimes.
Becky's first kind of title run, she was so much better as the challenger than she was the champion. Now she's heel, so much better as a champion than she was a challenger.
Heel champions are just always good because there's always money
so
in
much
the
better.
chase.
Exactly.
Yeah, Braun needs a little more polish, but he is a main one. Yeah, it's happening. I haven't seen too much of Braun lately. I feel like though I need to see a little more out of him for sure. I could agree with that.
I agree.
I don't think Gable Stevenson's going to be the one anytime soon. But they may get behind him eventually, especially if there's 2 titles. If they do that split again, I hope not. Yeah, Roman is now. Yes, Roman is now what they wanted in 2013. It is true.
In the dub, I love that.
The problem is they kept on pushing him as a face. They wouldn't turn him heel. And there were times where there was some shades of where he was acting heelish at some points, and he actually got over with the fans. But then no. So
yeah, his early Shield run was pretty baller.
Right. You're absolutely right. Like Roman Reigns is finally he's a star now. He is a star. Not sure Stevenson will be that guy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
no, I think he's got that, but he is going to get every opportunity to be that guy. Yeah. Not now. It's not. I hope. Well, I say that. I hope it's not now.
Yeah, maybe a little later. I mean, maybe a little later in the career.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Well, we will be back on tomorrow night after Backlash, right after, to get our reactions.
Yeah, man, I'm excited
to see if we were right or wrong about our picks, and we hope to talk to you guys again that were on today.
Yeah, dude, this is fun, man. This is a really, really fun show, dude.
This is actually one of my favorite prediction shows that we've had in a while.
For sure, 100%. We've had a really
made that.
Hey, shout out to Corey, to Yellow Boy, man, to Tim. You guys are all keeping us kind of honest with our predictions today, so we appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun.
Those of you guys that are about to watch, I hope you enjoy the predictions. We'll be back tomorrow after Backlash. I can't wait to see how this turns out. 9 p.m., 8 Central Time. No, well, by the time that we come on, we'll probably be 11 p.m. The show will end.
Yeah.
Here, right?
Gosh, man, it sounds so late.
3 hours. So around 11:15, I fully expect that we'll be on right around there. So for those of you guys that are watching or about to watch, Tommy, thank you guys.
Yes, dude, thank you.
Hope you all enjoy the weekend. I know we're gonna have an awesome close to the weekend. Can't wait. Catch you guys later.
Agility from the champion.